This video is not sponsored by Squarespace. When I started my Star Wars binge earlier last year, I had no idea that I would be making a video connecting one of my favorite movie directors with one of my favorite franchises. So I started watching the Clone Wars a few months ago. When it came to season 5, I had pretty high expectations. All my friends had told me that Clone Wars was really good post season 2. Seasons 3 and 4 were definitely better than 1 and 2, and so I was very interested and intrigued to see what season 5 would be like. The season did not disappoint me. Sure, it had some clankers, see what I did there, but it was overall a solid season. But I want to focus specifically on the last 4 episodes of season 5. They are entitled Sabotage, The Jedi Who Knew Too Much, To Catch a Jedi, and The Wrong Jedi. Now on the surface, these are all just titles to an episode of Clone Wars, but as you dig deeper, you find that they're a lot more than that. Instead of just randomly being named, they were actually strategically named. Each of these episodes correlate with an Alfred Hitchcock movie, both their titles and their plot. And before I get any further in this video, I do want to warn you that there will be spoilers for season 5, the finale specifically. Okay, now that I have the spoiler alert out of the way, I am super excited to talk about this. The whole connection between Star Wars and Alfred Hitchcock got me so giddy inside. And the easiest way for me to show the connection that Alfred Hitchcock has to Star Wars is to compare each movie with each episode. Starting with the 1936 film Sabotage. Sabotage is about a detective who is on the trail of a saboteur who is part of a plot to set off a bomb in London. You're probably familiar with the episode Sabotage from season 5 where Ahsoka and Anakin are investigating who set off a bomb in the Jedi Temple. Both plots are very similar in the fact that a bomb goes off and there is a lot of mystery involved with who set the bomb off specifically. Now the next episode, The Jedi Who Knew Too Much, is actually referencing 2 Alfred Hitchcock films. They're both different films, but they're the same story, and this is The Man Who Knew Too Much. Alfred Hitchcock originally made this movie in 1934, but then remade his own movie in 1956. In the film The Man Who Knew Too Much, an American family is visiting Morocco. One day while they're at the marketplace, a man is stabbed right in front of James Stewart, the main character. But before he dies, he shares some very vital information with him. Now, James Stewart has this information, and it's very important information, yet he doesn't necessarily want the information. In The Jedi Who Knew Too Much, Letta is ready to give Ahsoka vital information in regards to the Jedi Temple bombing that happened in the previous episode. Letta, unfortunately, is killed right before she can give Ahsoka the real information, and Ahsoka is the one that's caught in the act. While this episode ties in with The Man Who Knew Too Much, I actually think it relates a little bit more to Alfred Hitchcock's 1959 film North by Northwest, where an innocent man is accused of a crime he never committed. To Catch a Jedi is the 3rd episode in this story arc, and it takes after Alfred Hitchcock's 1955 film To Catch a Thief. Now, this movie really ties in with this episode. In To Catch a Thief, Cary Grant plays a retired jewel thief who sets out to prove his innocence after being suspected of returning to his former occupation. I basically just described the episode To Catch a Jedi to you. Ahsoka is on the run for a crime she did not commit. Like Grant's character, she makes unexpected alliances along the way, most notably Asajj, which, side note, I think is one of the coolest alliances made in this entire TV show. But ultimately, she is still hunted down whilst trying to clear her name. In To Catch a Thief, it's all about Cary Grant trying to prove that he's innocent and that he's not the jewelry thief that he once was. Now, the final episode, The Wrong Jedi, ties everything up so nicely. It was inspired by Alfred Hitchcock's 1956 film The Wrong Man, starring Henry Fonda and Vera Miles. In this movie, an innocent man is arrested for a robbery that he didn't commit. The man's life is essentially ruined because of this mistake that they made. In fact, not only is his life affected, but his wife's life is affected as well. It takes her a while to recover from the shock of her husband potentially being guilty. In my opinion, this one ties in with the Clone Wars the best. In the season 5 finale, The Wrong Jedi, Ahsoka stands trials for her actions. She is close to being sentenced to death when Anakin reveals Barriss to be behind a sabotage the whole time. It's a relief to hear at first, but when it comes down to it, Ahsoka could have been killed for a crime she never committed. Her false accusations expelled her from the Jedi Order, but when she's pronounced innocent, they welcome her back with open arms. Ahsoka was hit hard, and she now faces the long-term effects of the Council's actions. Like the husband and wife in The Wrong Man, Ahsoka's life will never be the same. She's cleared, she's proven innocent, so you'd think that she would be able to just continue where she left off on her previous path, but instead it's beginning on an entirely new path. As a huge Alfred Hitchcock fan, I love that they decided to connect Alfred Hitchcock to the Star Wars galaxy. It's not the only time that they have drawn inspiration from the Master of Suspense either. In fact, Season 2, Episode 4, titled Senate Spy, drew greatly from Hitchcock's 1946 film Notorious. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any sort of article that explained why Dave Filoni or George Lucas decided to specifically focus these episodes on connecting with Alfred Hitchcock's filmography, but I can only assume it's because they are fans of cinema like anyone, and they just grew up loving Alfred Hitchcock, which to me, that's a great reason on itself. I did, however, trace a quote by Alfred Hitchcock regarding Star Wars. When being interviewed one day, he was asked about Star Wars if he had seen it. He responded, oh yes, I saw it, but I wondered in Star Wars, of course with the grosses it's doing, why should one complain? But shooting at each other with lasers, I thought, now why do that? Bullets are so much quicker. Now, this doesn't give us too much information on how he felt, but it's cool to think that the same story of Star Wars would borrow from the Master of Suspense several decades later. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate your views. I appreciate the time you take to listen to me talk about something that I'm so passionate about. I wanted to announce that there will be more video essays on the way. I have plenty of ideas and I'm excited for what's to come. Anyways, again, thank you for watching and I hope you have a great day.